Salutation to our listener and Assalamualaikum. Our group will discuss the advantages and disadvantages of sport today. Before that, I would like to introduce myself as a forum host of the ceremony. My name is Firdaus and the other group member are Mr. Saidi, Miss Goody, Mr. Aidil and Mr. Shahrul. Sport, as we all know, are more than just physical activity taken to pass the time or to burn calories. The transformation of sport has increasingly keep up with the global growth and provide a more yes mentality. Increasing creativity and professionalism, driving the rapid growth of numerous sport. Participation in physical activity, even by communities, has numerous advantages. Interestingly, communities exercise can help people achieve a variety of not only clash on the court. The issue is what the advantages and disadvantages of sport. What if we listen to Mr. Saidi perspective?
Okay, this sport, in my opinion, provide us with numerous advantages. One of the advantages of participating in sport activities is that it can help to create a society with a healthy body and sharp mind. Sport activities may keep our bodies fit and healthy, preventing us from contracting other hazardous elements. When we exercise, our body creates perspiration and toxin that are needed by the body are released via the pores. Furthermore, the flow of blood throughout our bodies will be smooth, allowing us to remain healthy and intelligent at all times. In this regard, the proverb, a healthy body, a clever brain, is quite relevant because a healthy body is able to focus properly on the work given to it. When our body is healthy and our intellect is sharp, we can be outstanding employers because we can focus on our tasks. Right. Furthermore, athletic activities might help us develop a positive mentality because we are the human capital that guides the country leadership today and in the future. The current administration is focusing on admirable personality. We should collaborate through sporting activities to ensure that the sport that are competing win. Without the value of cooperation and sportsmanship instilled in us, will become selfish, which will ultimately harm the team. Right. Sport activities involving groups such as football, for example, will not be successful if the players do not cooperate. Even the best striker in the world will be unable to score if he does not receive the ball from both the defender and the midfielder. As a result, without teamwork and a sense of belonging, success will be elusive. What about you, Gurdeep?
Thank you, Mr. Saidi. In my opinion, the greatest part about sports is that sports unites people. Doesn't matter where you are from, sports is always a big part of social life in a community. You can either be playing the sport or just being the spectator. Sports is always an excellent reason for people to come together. This can be seen in the badminton finals during the 2012 Olympics. During that time, our national athlete, Datuk Lee Chong Wei, was playing against China's national Lin Dan. Every Malaysian came together to support and cheer for our beloved national athlete. Even though he lost the game, everyone took it in a positive way. It was indeed one of the best matches that everyone still remembers until today. Another example is football match. Do you remember before the pandemic hit, it was very common for us to see people gathering at mama restaurants to watch football matches. The crowd gets together to cheer for their favorite team or favorite players. This used to be a great way to make new friends and great memories. During school, we were often united through extracurricular activities and also sports. We were taught to be team players, regardless of anyone's background. It is still mandatory for school to organize sports day every year. Teachers and students work together to make this day successful. The preparation begins months before the day. On top of that, all the students are required to join sports of their choice. This will help them to discover new skills and also, most importantly, being a team player. All these examples proves that sports does connect people. Do you agree with us, Mr. Ideal?
Thank you, Miss Goodip. But first of all, I must say sorry to you and Mr. Saidi because my opinion is seem quite opposite to both of you. Because for me, sport have its own disadvantage because everything that has its advantage also have a very big disadvantage. And for me, one of them is injuries. People that love to play sport are exposed to get some injuries, either it's light or heavy. They are quite lucky, they will get a light injuries. But if they quite unlucky, then they will get some heavy injuries that can last for their lifetime and become permanent inability. Especially people that love extreme sport such as bicycling, hiking, and rugby. People always get injured when they are playing during games, such as torn muscle, broken bones, and torn ligament. Some of them can be repaired, and some of them cannot. They get injured even when playing while wearing a protective equipment. So, if you are really want to play sport, make sure you buy or get a very good equipment that can protect you. Because we don't know our fate. We are not always lucky. Because I know everyone want to play sport, but I just want to make all of you remember something. Just fully be careful with whatever you do, especially sport. What about you, Mr. Azam?
Yes, Mr. Ade, I agree with you when talking about the disadvantage about sport. From my observation and what we often hear now regarding drug taking by athletes, the issue of drug use by sport athletes to strengthen muscle is also an illegal act. These athletes are willing to use drugs that contain steroids for money and fame. In fact, the country reputation is also affected due the attitude of some national athletes who use prohibited substance to win a sport competition because they are too passionate to get the praise of the fan. Athletes are sometimes willing to do anything as long as their ambition are achieved, even if their action violate the rule and law. In addition, the disadvantage of sport can cause hostility. As such, it can trigger fight and quarrel, which when it involves a competition. It is common for people to say that sport strengthens friendship, but that statement is no longer acceptable. For example, fight event can be seen in the football sport arena. In our country, where football referees are beaten because they supporter, especially the supporters of the losing team, are not satisfied with the decision of the referee. This situation provoke feelings of resentment and fight as each one to vent their anger, which in turn can trigger riot. Nowadays, sports are no longer one of the ways to strengthen ties between communities, but sports are the cause of dispute between communities.
Thank you to all group members for the view. Now I would like to conclude. Given the fact so many sport activities have a serious impact, overall advantages still overshadow the disadvantages. Individual communities and also the country will benefit from sport activity if all parties work together to improve nation sport. As a result, is up to every individual whether sport activities are benefit or not. Everything's good in this world will surely lead to evil if it is straightened. Finally, all parties must follow the idea known as majulah sukan untuk negara. Again, thank you to all members for your view on the sport.